Excellent. Right, hi again. We're here again on a Tuesday. So tonight I would like to work a little bit on our abdominals. So that's going to include working on them a little bit in the warm-up as well. And I'd like to use weights, so because you're all at home, we can, most of us have got some sort of weights. So I'd like you to bring those into the equation. And I'm thinking weights, and then I've got the ball out as well. I think we'll use that a little bit. I haven't used the ball very much lately, so that can come into it as well. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, so the focus I would say is abdominals, and yeah, maybe oh yeah, that's true. With weights, if we look at abdominals, and even in the warm-up, I think we'll use the weights a little bit for some of the abdominal exercises. So that will just intensify that a little bit more. Don't want to get too hot, do we? It's still quite warm. And also, I think we'll do a little bit of work on arms as well. So probably, I'm thinking triceps, biceps, maybe a little bit of shoulder work actually as well. So yeah, that's basically it. So what should we start with? Let's start with just a lift of each ankle, so on what I call the pedals. I'll get started with that, and I need a sip of water already. Yeah, so just for warming up those ankles. Then we'll bring the heels down. We'll lift the toes and spread them. And then we'll relax. We're going to lift the heels. Ooh. Bring them back down and lift the toes and spread. Relax them. And then we're going to lift the heels and we're going to lower and lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Then back to pedals. So just taking it one at a time, quite slowly. Good. And then bring the heels down. Then we'll take our weights straight away. Let's bring them in, or you don't have to, doesn't matter. And we'll do a similar thing. So the feet are about shoulder width apart. You're going to just lift the toes slightly, just spread them out, relax them, and then when you lift the heels, we're going to take the arms up and down. And now we just start slowly, so up. That's if you can do it slowly. I mean, obviously there's quite a bit of balance going on here. And then we'll bring the heels down after this one. And now we're just going to lift without the heels lifting. Take them round, out to the side and down, and then forwards again, up, out to the side. And this time we're going to go out to the side, coming up, and forwards, down, then out to the side, whoop, and up, and down. Okay, and then we're just going to roll the shoulders with the weights in your hands if you have them, all the way back. Now we're going to go forwards, and then just bring those shoulders down, relax them. We're going to take both elbow into the waist, and we're going to squeeze out and back in. So let's just think about the shoulders releasing, now they're squeezing towards each other. So that's what we're aiming for. And now we're going to bring them back in. Then we're going to take them out, and we're just going to just a little pulse or a little squeeze. So it's a very small movement. You might feel a bit, I can definitely feel a bit of cracking going on one side. You might feel that. Last one. Then bring it in, take that down. And then just one squeeze up and another squeeze up. Then we'll put these down for the time being. And we'll, let's take, no, I might use the weights for those. Yeah, let's just take the head over to one side, relaxing the shoulders. Bring it back into the middle and over to the other side. And bring it into the middle. Then we'll take the hands behind. We'll just do that little squeeze into the palms. So you can just feel a bit of warmth and a bit of a stretch. One more. And then release. Okay, roll those shoulders. Then we can, let's have a think. Let's take the weights back. We're starting just with them down by your side, so there's just that little bit of extra weight. We're going to work on a little bit of balance, work. So we're going to lift, which I'll do the other leg. You lift your right leg. You're going to lift that leg up and then bring it down. Stay on that same side. We're lifting and we're lowering. So just try and concentrate on something in front of you. One more. And bring it down. Okay, just swap over to the other side. So standing tall, pulling in through the abdominals. We're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. And lift. Lower. Last one. Okay. So just stretch that out a second. Next thing is we're going to go back to the other side, the first side. So as you lift, we're going to lift both arms and lower. So it's actually a bit of strength work for the shoulders. And lower. So just two on that side, and then we'll change it to the other side. We're breathing out as we lift, breathe in to lower. And come down. Excellent. Okay. Let's have a think. Shall we do? I'll tell you what we could do. Just with the arms. Let's take the arms out to the side. Now we're going to lift one leg, and we're just going to take it out and down, and lift the other leg. So opening the hips a little bit. Those arms are just staying out, which is quite hard just to keep those arms out to the side. Okay, just stand there and just gently come back in. Roll those shoulders or just squeeze them up and release them. Then we're going to just bend the elbows a little bit. So you've got this sort of position, and you're just going to open out and come back in. And if you want, you could do a little heel lift and come down if you want to, so it's up to you. So try and bring the elbows up to about shoulder height. Last one. bring the arms down. Just roll the shoulders again. Then we're going to we'll do a little bit of tricep work. So we bring the weight up, the elbow's bent, and we stick that elbow back. We want to leave that elbow where it is and then just take it back. So it's just so much easier with the weight to keep that, to do the right technique. And that's 3. So we're just having a look. So when your hand comes back, it shouldn't go any further than here. I mean, sometimes it's easier to actually lean on something and do it like this, you know, because I want you to feel it in the triceps and the backs of your arms. I think the next one will be enough for now. Then just relax that down, bring the elbow in, and now we're going to take it to the biceps. So what I like to do is I like to double the weight if you can, because the biceps are a little bit stronger, a bit larger muscle, so you can just double that weight if you want to, if you can hold it okay. So I'm getting hot just doing this. So you're squeezing into that bicep as it comes to the shoulder. We'll do one more. We'll release it down, and then we'll change that over to the other side. You feel like you've done something. So elbow comes back, and then take it behind, and then come back to about just under your shoulder, under your armpit. And you can sort of do a sort of a stance where you've got one knee bent forwards with the forward foot. Doesn't really make sense, does it? I'm going to do one more with you. I'm going to just relax that shoulder, bring the other weight in if you're going to, get that elbow in, and you're now going to just squeeze and release. You don't actually have to go all the way down either, because sometimes it stretches a bit too much. And I tend to, especially when the weight gets heavier, I tend to go to about here and squeeze up, because this is the important bit. You can probably do this with heavier weights, but the triceps, it's much harder to do with heavier weights. You don't want to overstrain. I think we'll do one more. And then we'll just go back to triceps. We're just going to do a little bit more on triceps only. They're the muscles that seem to get the flabbiest. So taking it back, we're just going to take it and straighten it. And then we're just going to do a really small, you could even keep it as small as that, where you kind of just pulse. Keep that shoulder squeezed back. Yeah, keep it really squeezed back. Last one. I was really starting to feel it then. Change it round, so dig it back, straighten first, and then just squeeze. But I feel like I have to kind of squeeze my shoulder back a little bit. Okay, and then just bend the elbow, come in and do whatever you need to do. If you just need to release the shoulders off a little bit. Okay, so we'll keep hold of the weights. We're going to do a little bit more, a bit of work that's going to work into the abs, but it's a bit more of a cardio exercise and just raise the heart rate. I love this one, and it's a great one that you can do, especially if you find your ab exercises on your back a bit harder, then this is the one to do, really. It's a bit safer for your back as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to just do a step back, but it's not going to be a lunge, it's just going to be a little step. But as you step back, you're going to lift the arms And then as you bring that knee up, you're going to bring the arms down. So it looks like this, stretch. And what you're feeling is you're going to get a stretch in the tummy, and then you're going to contract. And I'm breathing out as I bring that knee up. We'll do one more. And so you can feel that on the other leg as well. Okay, so we'll change it over to the other side. And when you're ready, so you're stepping back and bring it in. Oops. Stretch up, crunch. So it's working your shoulders as well. That's it. That's it now. Whenever you finish, that's it, good. Okay, roll those shoulders. So actually I felt that quite a lot in my shoulders. Yeah, I can see people doing this. Okay, and that's definitely raised the heart rate. So then we just bring the arms up, the elbows up, and we just stick it out. Gently out. And then we just bring them in together. Just come down a bit, and then we just squeeze up and down. Now just relax those shoulders down. So you probably can feel you've worked quite hard in the shoulders. So I think we'll need the weights in a minute anyway for when we go down on the floor. So I'm going to put mine down there. We're going to just take the hands back and stretching the shoulders and the chest. That's quite a nice stretch to do after what we've just done. And release. Okay. Okay, let's just go for some ankle circles. Changing direction. And change to the other side. And change direction. Then we're going to take the feet out a bit wider than shoulder width. Just thought of this actually. And we're just going to stretch over to the side. So stretch through that side. Then just pulling up, taking it over onto the other side. We'll do a little bit of work for the waist today as well, with a bit of side plank, I think, stretching up. Excellent, okay. I think what we do now then is come down onto the floor. You can bring the ball down. I just want you to have your weights down there. And your weights and the ball. Okay, so I'm just going to make some changes so we can get a good position for the floor. That's it. Come forward with this one and bring it down. Okay. I think we'll start off We'll start off in all fours actually. And we could do, actually to follow the theme of using our weights tonight, and again I didn't even mention it earlier, but this will work our shoulders a little bit. Yeah, let's just take the weights, one on each side. So we're coming into our all fours position. We've just got that little pull up through the abdominals. We're going to just, first of all, going into our shoulder blade dips, spread those fingers. You might need to use your blocks. And then just take the weight back a little bit. And I'm just trying to think how we're going to do this. Come back into position. You're going to just take one weight. Obviously, you can't do both. But it's difficult because it's hard to lean on both. So we'll just take the arm in a little bit, and we're just going to stretch it and then come back. But the rest of the body is staying in that all fours position. So the hips don't move, the other shoulder doesn't move. And we're just, after this one, we'll put the weight down, and let's just take a quick rest and then come into position on the other hand. And then you're just going to bring it back and stretch away. The main thing is just keeping the rest of the body still. So we've got one more to do, and we bring that weight down, then just come down into your shell stretch, stretching into the shoulders. And then just coming up to seated position. Okay, so what we'll do next is we'll come on to our elbows, and we can do a little bit of lower body work. So we'll bring the knees in a little bit, pulling in under, through the abdominals slightly. We're going to lift that one leg with the knee bent, and we're going to lift and just lower. So we could, I'll tell you what you can do if you want, you could bring that knee in for a bit of abdominal work. And the other thing is, if you want to come up into a full, like the all fours position, because I seem to find that easier for this exercise, you can do. But if your elbows, if that's easier for you, more comfortable on your elbows, then stick on your elbows. Again, it's more ab work here. And then after this one, I'm going to come back down to my elbows now. I'm going to just pulse that now. So that's that knee lift, but it's a pulse into your bottom. And you should really start to feel that. Sort of pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So quite short and sharp pulses. And then when you're ready, bring that knee down. Now let's just have another stretch. And come back. So either on your elbows or on your hands, up to you. We'll do the full work first. So you're going to squeeze and lift, bring that knee in. And you can move a bit as you bring the knee in, because you really want to contract the abdominals. Having a quick look. And this is the whole movement at the moment. Last one, you bring that knee in. Now you're going to bring that knee up, and now we're going to pulse. going to do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knee down and a nice stretch. Okay, just come up slowly. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll just come round onto our bottoms. The weights can come down by our sides wherever we're going to lay down. So we're coming down now into crook position. See if you can come down slowly. Work those abdominals a bit more. There we go. Oh. Okay, so first thing, we can use the weights for this, or we can just do it as our basic stretch. So it's that taking the opposite arm to leg and stretching it. You can use your weights for this. Last one. Then coming back into crook position. So you could take the weights for this one. Depends how heavy they are. I think actually I'm going to just take the one. We're going to go into our ribcage closure. So keeping that back slightly imprinted, chin slightly tucked. It just makes such a difference with the weight. So just be careful you don't lift the rib cage. Keep that rib cage low, or keep it relaxed. That's the word. Yeah, it makes a massive difference with weights. I personally think the 0.5 kilograms are the best ones to use for this, with one in each hand. But this one's a kilogram, and it's just too much to put, I think, in each arm, each hand. For me. So you're certainly getting a bit of work on the shoulders after all that tonight, even though I didn't mention it at the beginning. Okay, so you can make this one your last one. Bend the elbows, just bring that weight down to the side. So I think, yeah, we'll just do our basic toe taps next. So let's just bring those legs up, just get comfortable into your tabletop position, and then take the toes down, keeping the rest of the body, excuse me, keeping the back slightly printed. Let's just do one more. Now let's just bring the knees into the chest. Can you feel the back just sort of release? So nice, that stretch, this stretch. And then what we can do is we could go back into the tabletop position. I'm going to have a go at just bringing the arms up with the weights and just holding them up like that, or you can do it without weights and just try it. The thing is, it does make your back a little bit in a bit more of a weaker position, as it were, so you really need to concentrate a bit more on keeping that same position, so your abdominals are working harder. And if this doesn't work for you, then go back to the previous exercise. We'll just do 2 more. bring the knees in, bring the hands down. Okay, lovely. So from that position, we'll take one foot down to the floor, and we're going to take the other one into a tabletop position, and we're going to straighten the other leg, and we're just going to just change it over. So this is one where we could actually raise up, support the neck if you want to, or if you need to, that is. So by just doing that little lift, you definitely can feel the abs working a bit harder. Don't make this too fast. Stretch and position. Okay, when you're ready, bring the knees back in and just stay there for a few seconds. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of bridge work. Bring the feet down. So, just having a think about this, because I quite like to do a bit of bridge work, the one-sided bridge. So I think what we'll do is let's try it. We'll try it on your weaker side first. This is my weak side, with one leg up, or you can bend the knee actually, that might be a bit easier. And you're just going to lift and lower to start with. So just get the feel for it. I was wondering whether to use a weight, but it's quite hard with just the one foot. So we're just working, squeeze into your bottom. So you just lift and lower. Actually, I'm going to put that back for now. And then if you can, we're going to stay to that lifted position and then pulse. Just be careful of the knees. And just hold, if you can, in that pulse, and gently bring it down. Bring the other foot down. If you want to just have a stretch or anything in that foot, then you can do. And then we're changing it over to the other side. So other legs is straight, or it's the knees bent. And we're going to just utilising those bottom muscles, we're going to just lift the hips off and lower down. So just keep the basic lift first. And just get your positioning, just make sure it feels right before we go to the next stage. So I think we're waking that side up. We'll do one more before we come back up to that lifted position, and we're going to pulse. 6, 7, 8, 9, hold on 10, just hold, and release back down. That's my better side. So you can just give that leg a stretch if you want to. And then we'll just lift the legs. I'm going to do our reverse curl. So coming up. Now if you want to, you can make it harder by coming up higher. I'd like to sort of try some variations. You can sort of take the arms back or something, like bring them back like this. But anyway, that makes it a lot harder. We'll try that maybe on a Thursday. Try it out and see. But you feel this area working quite hard. Last one. And you really need to blow that air out, don't you, when you lift? Okay. Just hold it there for a second. And then bring the feet down. Right, okay. Then we're going to do dead bug. So arms coming up. Now, actually, do you want to use your weights for this? You can do. Let's just see how that feels. So starting just with that stretch, so don't go so far with the arm, especially when we bring the legs up into tabletop position. Yeah, that's, be careful, especially if they're over 0.5 kilogram, unless I'm just a weakling. Keeping that back slightly imprinted. Let's bring the knees up now into a tabletop position. So be careful here. Just experiment first. Don't take the arms back too far. Yeah, feel that working the abs a bit harder now. Sort of fill it up to the rib cage. I'm going to do 2 more. Let's just hold that stretch a bit longer. Bring it in. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Hold the stretch, not the breath. Coming in. Bring the knees in. Bring the weights down, and then we'll roll up into seated position. So I feel like we've worked quite hard actually so far. The weights do add a bit to that, doesn't it? So, don't they? So let's come on to our elbow first. We're going to use weights on our side as well tonight. So yeah, we're going to do the side plank first. It's not my favourite exercise. I don't know if it's yours. I think the thing is, you've got to be careful of our shoulders, that we're not putting too much pressure on them. So we can either have our knees bent, or we can have that straight leg on top. And sometimes actually the straight leg on top helps a bit with the lift. But the main thing is we're lifting, we're working into the waist here. Okay, so when you're ready, we can take the arm up as well if you want to. And you can even take a weight if you really want to. So we're going to lift up. So we're still on our knees. We can take the arm up. You might have a weight in there, in that hand. I'm going to just breathe, and then we're going to lower. I don't want to hold it for too long, so I think we'll just do 3 of those in total. Just keep lifting and then pushing up through into your shoulder, and come back down. And 1 more. Lift, 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 lift. And come back. And then just to give yourselves a stretch, just come up and take that stretch over. And then just bring the arm forward and stretch forwards. And just come up. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to come back down. We're going to take both blocks and 1 weight if we want to use it. Realise we haven't used the ball yet. We're probably not going to use the ball now, so both blocks, 1 weight. So rotate a cuff first. The other arm is just out in front of you. You're in a clam position. Elbow is in, so a bit more work on the shoulders. So have a quick look down and just check that the hand isn't kind of going over there or over here. Trying to keep it in line with your elbow. So we should be feeling it in a slightly different area of the shoulder, around the back of the shoulder. And what we could do a 1, 2, 3 pulses and release. I'll just do 3 of those in total. And then we're going to just take it into that squeeze, so we got into that position, just hold it and breathe. Now release. That's it. And then we've got open book, so you can either keep the weight or remove it. We're going to take it out. This is what's nice about doing the open book straight after, is that it feels like it stretches the area that you've just kind of worked and contracted. So it feels actually quite like a nice stretch. But don't put too much weight in that hand. You don't want to hurt your back. We just do one more after this, so we're not doing too many because we've just got a few other things to get in before we finish. Brilliant. So that's your last one. And then we'll just make a change in position, in the sense of that we'll take the arm out and we'll do our little stretch. So I'm just checking what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, all right. I was going to do it that way, but I think I'm going to straighten the leg first. We'll do leg circles first. Because what I like about doing leg circles is it's more of a mobility exercise that kind of prepares you for the exercises to come. And stretch, a mobility and stretch. And then we're going to change direction, and we're going to keep the hips stable. So you should be able to just feel those hips and just know that they're circling, but nothing else is happening. The body's not moving backwards or forwards. I'm doing a few of those. I like these. Bring the leg down, and then if you need to, give yourselves a pat, then bend both knees. And now we're going to just open the clam and just hold that open. Just that little stretch, make sure you've got a little lift under your waist. And relax it. And then we're going to open, straighten, back to open, close. So if you ever have problems with doing this one, because I've obviously some people have said that can be quite difficult, you don't have to do the straight leg, just keep it with the basic clam, or just make it easier on the leg. So you can, when you actually open and when you straighten, you just lower it down a little bit, and that won't put so much pressure on. Last one. Wonderful. Give yourselves a pat. Always lean forward a bit, actually, that feels quite nice. It seems to release it a bit better. So we better do that all on the other side, haven't we? Right. And I've got to remember the little extras that I put in. Okay, so we're coming on to elbow first. You can use your weights for this. And did 3, didn't we? So onto that elbow. Well, are you ready? Okay, ready. And lift, straighten the arm. I think lifting the arm helps, and then pulling in through the abdominals. Don't let the tummy stick out. Pulling in through, breathing, then bringing it down. Just readjust, because it's not the best, is it, on the shoulder. And then we're going to lift. Try and lift a bit more to really stretch. Then bring it back down. And we'll do that one more time. Lifting up, really lift here, lift from here. and coming down, and just come up to that seated position. Just take the arm over. So this is stretching your QL muscle deeply inside, hopefully. And then what did we do? We did like just a little stretch forwards. And come up. And now we're going to come down with our 2 blocks and do our rotator cuff work first. And we've got our, it's good to have a weight for this particular exercise. I think you do need one, really. That elbow comes in and you're going to lift and lower. So I want to feel the back of the shoulder working. I'm just watching my positioning now. Am I doing it right? Did we do pulses? I can't remember now, but anyway, we'll lift it. We'll do 3 pulses and take it down. 2, 3. And then what we'll do is we just do that last one where we just hold, but we're squeezing. And release. You can keep the hold of the weight if you want to. Oh, mine's going for a walk. And then we're going to open book, so keep that chin slightly tucked, and also keep your hips in the same place. Don't let them move back. And that previous exercise kind of almost helps you appreciate this one, because this really does stretch out lovely. I think we only did a few of these, didn't we? So we'll do one more. I always have a rough plan, but I don't always follow it. Okay, that's it. And now we're going to stretch out that top leg, and we're going to just lift onto the waist a little bit. Keep that waist lifted. And circle. Don't forget to keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And change direction. Now I'm enjoying this so much, I'm going to keep going like one more now. Okay, and then bring the knees in. So you're in your clown position. We're going to open, straighten. Oh no, we did close that again. First of all, we're going to just open and hold. So we're squeezing here. Work, 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 and release. Right, relax. Then we're going to open, straighten, back to open, close. Again, don't forget, you don't have to lift that leg too high. You feel that as it comes down, can't you? So when it gets that point and then it closes down, we'll just do one more. I think we might have done more on this side. And close. And then just bring that leg forward. Give yourselves a nice pat to relax. How are we doing? Okay. I think what we'll do then is we'll just roll onto our front. Let's quite a good place to go to from there. And I think we could just do a little bit of half plank as we're in this position. So elbows under your shoulders or slightly forward if you want to work harder. We're going to tuck the toes under. Now we can either just lift the tummy off, or we can do the whole hog and actually lift the hips off. So entirely up to you. And sort of push up into your shoulders. Keep breathing. You can just do the tummy lift, because don't forget that will still work and it will still contract those lower abdominal muscles, the deep abdominal muscles. And now release it back down. So do some of you want to follow me and just bring your elbows a bit further forward to work yourselves a bit harder. I've decided I've got to do lots with my abs from now on, well, the last few weeks. Okay, and lift. Push up through the shoulders and keep lifting. I should see quite flat backs. If you want to come down now, you can. For the rest of you, we'll do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. And come down. And what's really nice to do after this, I suppose you could do one dart. Don't just head down. Stretch those arms out so it takes the weight off the shoulders now. And squeeze the shoulders down your back and just a little dart. Do a bit of triceps if you want to. Then just gently release. And then bring the arms out to the side. Lift the body and then bring the knees out. Come down into your shell stretch or your child's pose. We'll take it to the left side, so that will then stretch the right side of the body. Then back into the middle, over to the other side, so stretching the left side of the body now. Back into the middle. We come up slowly. Well, you've done really well tonight. I think I feel like I probably worked you quite hard, and you know, obviously there's been a bit more emphasis on the shoulders and working with our weights, but that's, you know, that's good. So it's always good to have feedback. So always let me know how you feel, how you're doing. Okay, so we'll take the arms out. We're going to take a breath in and out. And in again, and out. Give yourselves a big clap. You've worked really hard tonight. Thank you very much. See some of you on Thursday.